I've still got traction control on, by the way. We'll just wait, I don't want to spin out yet. So, hey up guys, it's Josh again, and you join me in the car today. Today we're going to be going for a bit of a drive, and we're going to be trying the new GoPro out. And you'll see around me that there's a lot of traffic, and that's because Leeds United are playing. Currently at the top of the table, recently accused of spying on our opposition, but I don't really want to get into that, to be fair. But what I'll do, I'm just going to go for a bit of a drive, see what we can do, see if there's anyone about. That'll be quite interesting. Let you listen to the car, how it is at the moment with the res delete, and just so I can talk a little bit more around my plans, what's going on, and also just some random tidbits that I think are worth noting, really. Thank you very much. So when I was doing the video about why I chose the Golf R, I did mention that the steering is quite numb. I want to actually explain that and give you an example, just so you can see what I mean. Because, you know, normal driving, how you see I am now, you can't really see it, and you know, it's something which, oh my god, it's something which annoys me a little bit. But it's also quite nice at the same time, because the Golf steering is very, very light, and you can tell that in the way it responds. It's no track car, it's not a particularly driver focused car, if you want to say that. Why is there so much traffic? Right, stuff this, I'll come back to you when there's a bit less traffic. So when I say the steering is a bit is a bit flat, you'll see here from what I'm doing with the steering wheel that the car is barely moving, and I'm moving the steering wheel quite a lot. It's only just wiggling from side to side, and to me, you know, oh god, cyclists, move please, move. Where is he going? Come on, Jesus. Right, that's that dealt with. Sorry about that. You know, you don't often get cyclists at 7:15 on a night in the middle of Leeds on one of the busiest roads that you've got. But anyway, so yeah, the steering wheel, it moves a lot, and the car doesn't move in conjunction with it. And I think when you look at something like the Civic Type R or the Focus RS, this tends to be a little better. But again, you know, without having driven the cars for an extensive amount of time, I wouldn't be able to tell you that. But as I mentioned, you know, we're just going to go for a bit of a drive, see what we can do. We might head back down that way where we were supposed to go, if we can find a bit of a route up this way. But the car is in normal mode at the moment. In fact, I'm lying, it's in individual mode. And in individual mode, I've got the engine sound to sport, I've got the steering to sport, so it's a little bit better, but I've got everything else, the throttle response, all normal. So you can't really hear that much, you know. I'm hoping you can hear me pretty well. It's the first time that I've used a GoPro properly. But yeah, you know, I hope you enjoy it. Remember, if you do enjoy this sort of stuff, I will be pressing on a little bit later on. Don't think I'm just going to be driving around at 40 miles an hour everywhere. But if you do enjoy it, leave a subscribe, leave a comment, drop me a like on the video. It really helps me sort of understand what the people who are watching my videos are enjoying. And yeah, we'll speak when we get somewhere a bit more exciting. I'm going to be doing a video on how to do the airbox mod and the fitting of the AirTech parts as well, so keep tuned for that one. But we're on a bit more of an open road, still a fair amount of speed limit and all that sort of stuff which ruins the driving experience. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to go onto the motorway so you can hear a little bit of an engine sound, a bit of exhaust note, and then I'm actually going to go into a tunnel. So you're going to get to hear the Golf at full chat in a tunnel, providing that there's no traffic. Now, when Leeds United are playing, there is traffic all around the centre of Leeds, and I live fairly close to the centre, which is unfortunate, but the tunnels that go underneath Leeds should be open. So that's where I'm going to head now. I'll catch up with you guys once I'm on the motorway, which is just over there, and then we'll hear a little bit of the car. Right, so we're just setting off from the traffic lights. It's amazing how many weird looks you get when you've got a GoPro on your face. But we're just going to be heading on to the M621, the most awful motorway in the UK, most likely, apart from the M25. But let's have some noises. So we had a little bit of understeer there, and I think that's a mixture of A, the tyres that I've got on the car, and B, the fact that the roads are so greasy, it's unbelievable. Now, in a normal situation, even with these tyres, the Golf just sticks to the road, but I wasn't 100% confident in keeping my foot planted then. I just seemed to be sliding a little bit. It is a little bit exciting, but you know, it's a bit unnerving really at some times, especially when it's a little bit greasy. But if you look at the road here, I mean, you can't really see it, but from what I can see, it looks dry, it looks fine. But there's just something on there, maybe it's a layer of something, I don't know, that just makes the car just slide that little bit. I'm just going to turn the speed off because I'm aware that I'm going a tiny bit above the national speed limit. And so is this guy here. Block the number plate out. But yeah, so the car itself, I'm going to do a full review on it because I've owned it for nearly 4 months now. But it's brilliant. I really enjoy it, and it's everything that I wanted from the car, and it sort of answers and ticks all the boxes that I had when I was sort of looking for one. And I to be honest with you, I can't see where I would go from here, whether it's up to something like an RS3 or maybe the Mark 8 Golf R, depending on what it's like when it comes out, because we're still not sure whether it's going to be on the MQB chassis, and you can also see Leeds United over there, and we don't know if it's going to have a hybrid engine, what the WLTP standards are going to do to the car, because as you know, the new ones of these that have been sort of ordered between July last year and are soon to be delivered have the GPF. Now I can't remember off the top of my head what the GPF is, but it's another filter very similar to the diesel particulate filter that you get on diesel cars, and it's sort of strangling the car a little bit. And the reason why I say that is the pre-WLTP cars are 310 PS, so roughly 310 horsepower, 306 horsepower rather, and they've had to tone it down again. So the ones that have had the GPF fitted to them are now going to be 300, same as this one that I'm sat in now. And that's pissed a lot of people off, if I'm honest, because they've ordered their cars thinking they're going to get a 310 brake horsepower car, and that's it. But the delivery's taking ages. Some people have been waiting 8 or 9 months, and you know, now they're being told that the car's only going to have 300 horsepower as opposed to the 310, which, like I say, has narked a couple of people. But you know, we're coming to the end of the sort of run for the Golf R. The sort of Mark 8 is going to be out in 2019, the standard models, and I'm expecting the Golf R to either be out late 2019 or to mid 2020, which is interesting because that means that I would have had this car nearly 2 years and I might be in a position to change. But again, you know, I'm not thinking about that at the moment. I'm just enjoying it as it is. So we've got a lot of people here because, as I say, Leeds United are playing, and unfortunately marching on together, that's what they all do. So we're in a bit of a tunnel here. Let's see if we can get some tunnel noises. Go into this lane. So I don't know how that's going to come across on camera, but with the res delete you get a lot more crackles, you get a lot more DSG farts as they're called. But if you're not at 100% full throttle and you're not changing up all the way through the rev range, you get this like little sort of hybrid pop and DSG fart, and it sounds really nice. I had a couple of them there because I wasn't going fully pinned through the tunnel, as with a lot of football events, you know, there seems to be police around a lot. But once you get a bit further this way and we go around this huge roundabout, which is always a pain in the arse in the morning, then we'll get to another tunnel which is a little bit longer, it's a little bit out of the way kind of, and we should be able to get some more noises. So we're not far. This is Leeds City Centre if you've never been here, or this is the outskirts of Leeds City Centre. All the students live over there. All the business stuff is over here. And these are, well, this is essentially the inner ring road. So this goes underneath the city centre, which is pretty cool. You know, I haven't come across many things like this, maybe in Birmingham I think, but not so much over here. So I'm just going to downshift a little bit, I'm going to open the window. Sorry if you can hear the wind noise. The great thing about this is there's more than one tunnel. Again, people just pulling out when they're wanted and then can't seem to turn their indicator off. So what I'm going to be doing now, I'm going to drive towards Harewood House, which is up here actually, nearly missed a turn off. We've gone through a couple of roundabouts and there's nothing really happening apart from trees, very bright LED, I guess they're LED or something like that, but and again we are coming to traffic. Not ideal. I thought at this time on a Friday night that I nearly went into the back of the A-class then. I thought at this time on a Friday night that we might have a bit of grace with the traffic, but I guess there's a fair bit going on, which is a bit annoying because I can guarantee that these cars here will more than likely be going the way that I'm going, which means I can't put my foot down, which is sad for me. But if that's the case, I might hop off at Harewood House, wait a little bit to see if the traffic dies up, and then we can get on there. By the way, I know I was just wishing that I was minding my own business, but if any of you guys can guess that song, I'll give you 30 quid. I'm being legit, like I'll PayPal you £30 if you can guess that song. Rewind it as much as you want, but have a pop. Let's see who knows the music. It's fairly new. The guy is not known that much, and I appreciate it if you know it as well, because the guy is an absolute legend, is such a talent. But forget that, I'm just going to cut now to when we get there because I'm sick of being in traffic. Right, so guys, we are just coming up to, you know, I imagine it to be like the border to Mexico. So you've got these 40-mile-an-hour speed cameras, probably for, I don't know, 4 miles, 3 miles, something like that, all the way from Leeds City Centre to the edge of Leeds, kind of edge of Leeds. We'll talk about it when we get there. But you kind of cross your threshold and then you sort of into the countryside sort of setting. Stay there, don't not pull out. And yeah, that's where I should be able to open up the car a little bit more. If I can, you know, I might have to just see where we can get some, because I've got a route that I've got in mind and there's quite a lot of opportunities there to put my foot down, so we shall see. Ooh, I don't know what that was, but it sounded a little loud. So I don't know if you guys know this about the Golf, but it's got the automatic cruise control. Brilliant for when you're in situations like this where you just back and forward to cars. I'm currently controlling the brake at the moment, but earlier in the video I didn't have my foot on the brake and the car came to a stop, and that's because it detects a car in front. Really, really good system. I've trusted it quite a lot when I used to work at Volkswagen, so I drove from Leeds to Pontefract without touching the pedals, and you know, I wasn't in and out of traffic. I went round a roundabout onto the motorway, went on the motorway for, I don't know, maybe 10 junctions, came off, and probably a mile after I came off, after a few little roundabouts like these, and then took control of the car. But that was just for me to find out if it works, and I've used it quite a lot in this car on the actual motorway, just going up and down the country, where if I'm going to shows or anything like that. and yeah, I'm quite impressed. This is the border right here, we've just gone past it, where it goes from having loads of street lights and a 40-mile-an-hour speed camera to pitch black, which I hope you guys can still see, and national speed limit. But unfortunately, we're sat behind a Corsa, and it's not a fast Corsa. There we are, there's a speed limit. So I'm going to bang it into sport, bang it into manual, and then we can have, or we can try to have, a little bit of fun. Yeah, I'm going to talk a bit about performance with the Golf now. And earlier in the video, I slid going around a corner, and it wasn't an out of control slide as such. It was predictable, and I put it down to me not shelling out for tyres because it's got 4 new ones on, albeit bad ones. Well, they're not bad ones, they're sort of medium range, and it being greasy. I don't know if you can see between here and the Corsa, but there is a little bit of, I want to say, dampness on the road, but I don't know if it's just a bit of grease or it's a little bit wet. I'm not entirely sure, but most of the time the car is very, very sure-footed when it's pushing on, and I wanted to do this video when it was dry so I could go around a roundabout or something and show you how much grip this car has actually got. So I might do a separate video on that once it clears up a little bit. But the car is really impressive, and you know, from an owner's perspective, people are impressed with them. From a modifications perspective, you've got so many different options. I mean, this one's standard, as you know, but it's slowly getting some modification done to it. There's people with 600 brake horsepower, there's people with 700 brake horsepower, there's people swapping RS3 engines into the Golf R, and it just goes to show you the versatility of what you can do with this vehicle. Whereas with sort of competitors, and I'm going to use the Honda Civic Type R as an example here. I saw stage 2 was up to 400, which, yes, granted is similar to, or it's pretty much the same as the Golf, but you've got 400 brake horsepower in a front wheel drive car. If it doesn't torque steer, it's going to understeer like mad if you're pushing on. And I don't think past that point there's much potential. Like there's and I was speaking about this with somebody on WhatsApp the other day. The MQB chassis, which is the Leon, the A3, the S3, the RS3, the Octavia, the Golf R, the RSQ3 and everything like that, they're all built on the same chassis. They're all built on the same chassis. I can't even speak. And that means that they've all got similar engines. Some have smaller turbos, some have detuned engines, but for the most part, if a company like APR, MRC, Revo, or even some local companies, if they do a bit of research into these vehicles, they can apply it to maybe 5 or 6, so it's worth their time and effort to actually continually develop the things that they've got going on, purely because it's going to be around for a decent amount of time. Now, earlier on I mentioned about the Mark 8 being an MQB. It's not been confirmed yet, but I'm pretty damn sure that it's going to be on the MQB chassis, which means it's going to have similar engine, again, similar characteristics. So these maps should need a little bit of tweaking here and there, and then they can just be put straight onto the cars. And even past that point, they will be then developed, they will be improved upon. You know, they're always trying to sort of continually improve the maps, and then that'll then filter down to cars like this, which is a 2015 car that usually would just get sort of left as an afterthought. So what most companies do is they'll bring out a map or two. They might do a bit of a couple of adjustments on it. They might give people it as a bit of a trial just to see some diagnostics on what's going on, and then once they finish maps out, that's it. There's no more development, and that was the case with the Focus ST Mark II. I don't know how well you guys can see, but it's pretty damn dark out here. I'm still stuck behind this goddamn Corsa. I'm hoping we get a bit of an opening soon. I don't want to bore you guys, but well, I don't even know where we are anymore. I'll see if we can get some of the low speed stuff. There's nobody behind me, so yeah, I really like it. It still puts a smile on my face now, and I've been doing it for 4 months, but you know, it's the thing, it's just what really makes me love this car is just how, in any situation, wherever you are, unless you're in some sort of extreme situation, you can put your foot down and the car will go. No fuss, just does it. And I recently wrote an article on Drive Tribe. If you're not on Drive Tribe, it's what Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond and James May started or had some sort of participation in. And if you're a petrol head like me, you want to be on there because there's a lot of stuff about cars, a lot of stuff about motorsport, hot hatches, supercars, the developments, electric vehicles, the future of sort of the car manufacturing industry and everything like that. I recently wrote an article on there about this car, and I compared it somewhat to a scalpel, for example. And I mean that in the sense of, you tell it where to go, it goes. You tell it what to do, it does it. And when you compare that to something like the M140i, I was trying to think of another option, but let's just say the M140i, which is a bit of a sledgehammer, but bloody good sledgehammer. There's the differences. So I could have, I don't know, the back end might come out if I was in a 140i then. Earlier when it was coming onto the motorway, the back end probably would have come out. But not in this car, it just goes. And that's no detriment to the 140, because I know they are good cars. But you know, it's just one of them things. And I mean, look, where I am on a private road at the minute, obviously, so I'm going to put my foot down from second and just look at the speedo. And that's a standard car. And if that's not impressive, and you know, to a large majority of people who get these cars, it is impressive, but the enthusiast in us always wants us to improve. It always wants us to make it better. So that's when the visual mods come in, especially with this car, because it's not that aggressive. But when you're talking about stage one, you're looking at maybe 70 horsepower above stock, and that in itself is a large gap. I mean, I'm expecting the Mark 8 Golf R to have 350 horsepower or 400 horsepower with the assistance of a hybrid engine. And when you think that, just a simple math, I mean, you could take one of these, not do anything to it hardware wise, take it to APR or MRC or Revo, I'm not getting into that discussion, and just say, right, can you just put me a stage one map on, and they will do it, and you'll get 360, 370 horsepower, I think, roughly. Probably lowest 350, maximum maybe 370. But you've just taken a car and you might have spent £1,000 and you just got an extra 70 horsepower. So you go from a car that's doing 0 to 16 4.9 seconds to a car that's doing 0 to 16 4 or under. And for, you know, you can pick these up for 20 grand now fairly easily from a Volkswagen dealer with a warranty, with everything you could possibly want with the car, service packs and everything. And you know, that is unbelievable what value for money is. So this is a road going up to Knaresborough. I had to do a bit of a hard brake there. So we're going to see if we can get a bit of a run up, because this bit here goes into 2 lanes, and I'm going to turn the speed off, or the digital speed off rather. 4th gear. I wanted one of these. Like, it's just no fuss, there's no drama, you press the pedal, it goes. And yes, I do slightly regret not getting a manual, and you can see here I'm stuck with the DSG box, but at the same time the DSG is so good, it is reliable regardless of what people say, and you know, it just takes the car to that next level. I mean, it saves 0.5 of a second 0 to 60, and you know, that's good enough in itself. But I'm really impressed. I'm going to show up now. I'm just going to drive down this road and I'll catch up with you guys once I've turned around and I'm on the way back down. Right, roundabout's coming up. Let's see if we can pin it. Let's see what happens. Like, I'm just going through a YOLO moment. Let's do it. Let's do it. Shift down a couple of gears. hopefully there's nobody in the way where I'm at. I don't imagine any of these people want to come all the way around, but I'm just worried about this side. Right, roundabout time. I've still got traction control on, by the way. We'll just wait, I don't want to spin out yet. So that was quite interesting, because as soon as I planted it, the car just got all sorts of crazy, and it's a shame because it is greasy, but it's nice to know that it's sort of predictable. Like I knew, you know, as soon as I put the foot down, I knew it was going to squirm a little bit, but sometimes, you know, if I've been really pushing it around a corner, and obviously on a private road, is that the back end doesn't quite come out. It sort of does the whole four-wheel drive drift, which is an odd feeling. It's a very odd feeling, but I quite enjoy it. You know, I like this car, so hey ho. If there's anything interesting on the way back, I will pop it in, but I'm just going to show for a little bit, just enjoy driving. I can't see anything behind me, I can't see anything in front of me. It is pretty dark, so I don't know what you guys can see. But if you enjoyed this video, then please click like, please click subscribe. Let me know down in the comments if there's any particular content that you want me to do. If you want me to feature your car on the channel, then let me know. My email address will be in the description, and if you're not looking in the description and you're lazy, then my email address is jjbyoutube@outlook.com. It's a specific email address for YouTube if you haven't imagined, and that'll come straight through to myself. Let me know a couple of details about you, your car, where you are, what your availability is, and as I've said in a couple of other videos, we'll get together, we'll have a laugh. I'll buy you a bacon butty or something. If you're vegan, then I don't want to meet you, and we'll do it from there. But thank you very much for joining me today. Apologies if the content has been lacking a little bit in this particular video. I didn't know what to expect, I didn't know the traffic conditions, and as I'm sure you can appreciate, I would like to keep my license, hence why I'm now doing the speed limit. But until next time, I'll see you guys then.